It's taken time to get here, lots of time. The roads are all in gridlock, there are leaves upon the line. Every obstacle encountered seemed to want to push us back, to send us up the wrong path or stop us in our track. Sheer bloody-minded determination drove us on, to deal with our own feelings when we found out we were wrong. All the choruses of voices urging that we just give in, that we'd never ever get here, that we'd never ever win. Many times we've had to change direction, when it finally dawned on us that we could. After innumerable moments of reflection, and finding it was taking longer than it should. But if we'd not been on this journey, then we wouldn't be here now. And now there's nowhere in the world I'd rather be. It's taken time to get here, but we got here in the end. And I am relieved that I can now step back and clearly see. If we'd not been on this journey, then we wouldn't be here now. And now there's nowhere in the world I'd rather be. It's not been easy, I'll admit, and at times I wasn't sure, but now there's nowhere in the world I'd rather be. What ho, folks, Thomas Benjamin Wilde Esquire here with song number 25 of my Song a Week project. In 1 week's time, it'll be half a year. Just thought I'd let you know. So 25 weeks I've been doing this for. Obviously, the last couple of weeks I have been doing songs that are going to be included on my new album, which I am currently finishing off. And this particular song was written and inspired by various things. Firstly, as a bit of an opening song for arriving at venues after difficult journeys. But also, it was written based as a thing of that kind of idea that it's good to learn and carry on learning and carrying on being open to learning and not thinking that you know everything, because actually it closes you off to actually understanding things much better. So going on that journey of discovery and learning and admitting when you're wrong, I think is very, very important. And so that's very much what this song is about. And it's also written as an attempt to write a positive song as well, because I do realise I sort of dwell on being a miserable bastard and moaning quite a lot in songs. So I thought, this one's a nice, positive, upbeat one about changing and growing, essentially. So as I say, this song will be included on the new album that is due out in November. I've made the decision now, it's going to be out in November. That's when it's going to be finished. If you want to hear it before anybody else, hear a proper version or a demo version before anybody else, I'm actually sharing it on my Patreon this week. So you can join that for as little as £3 a month and access all kinds of exclusive materials. So details of that is in the description below. I played this on my trusty Flight ukulele, details of which can be found below as well in the description if you are interested in getting hold of one of these. As I keep saying, it's my go-to instrument, the one I just pick up and play. Lovely thing. So lots of choice on the Flight website. Follow the link in the description below. So I'm quite excited by the fact that the album is starting to take shape now. There's been a bit of a long period when I haven't done a huge amount to it. I've been waiting for festival season to be over, really, because I've got Tom Carradine playing piano and Adam Pitt playing guitar on it, as well as there's going to be some fiddle on one of the tracks as well. And everybody's been away for the summer and, obviously trying to earn money during festival season. So it's been a bit of a slow process trying to get recordings off of people, but they're starting to come through now. As I say, I'm sharing these on Patreon fairly regularly now, or going to be sharing them on Patreon fairly regularly now. So if you want to hear some of the other songs that I've not yet shared with you on YouTube or various social medias yet, then yeah, come and join me on Patreon. You can hear them before anybody else. Some nice responses to last week's video. It's been a bit of a weird one, this one, because the full video on YouTube hasn't had that many views comparative to the other videos that I've put up. But the short video has been doing fairly well. And so I'm wondering whether it's the title that I gave the track, calling it Glastonbury. People thought it might be a song about Glastonbury. In fact, one of the comments at the bottom from Madonna Grogan says, really not like Glasto. I think there is some kind of negative sentiment of feeling towards Glastonbury Festival, which I have as well. I resent it massively. But it's not really about Glastonbury. And I think that might have been kind of a thing that put people off. They thought I'd written a song about Glastonbury, but it's not really about that. It's about being happy with the success that you've achieved. And admitting to yourself that you're not going to kind of be the biggest star in the world. And that's okay. But yes. So I may change the name of it based on that sort of feedback there. Some really nice comments on here. Declan Fowie 8471 says, your songs always make me laugh. I would love to see you live in concert. I showed my workmates one of your songs. We laughed so much that our boss told us off. But as soon as he saw what we were laughing at, he started laughing too and let us off the hook. Good. I'm glad I didn't get you into trouble. Mark the Minstrel says, I love the additional vocal harmonies. I relate to this on a deep level. I always loved playing music, but I knew it didn't make much more money, so sadly it could only ever be a hobby. Fortunately, I've found posting on YouTube is a good way of being the musician I always wanted to be. And that's exactly it. It's kind of finding the joy within what you're doing. And not being limited by by kind of old expectations of what success should look like. If you're happy and you're doing it and you're enjoying it, then that's the main thing. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, really. Apologies for, I realise there's some flickering going on with the camera at the moment. So apologies if it is kind of flickering. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to try and fix that later. James Wright 4322 says, was wondering if you will tell us about your sojourn into acting and why it was short-lived. So yeah, absolutely. I actually studied theatre and performing arts at college and university. So when I was a teenager, I really wanted to be in a band. And I formed various bands and that kind of thing. Where in the UK, we finish compulsory education at 16 and then we go on to basically have some choice in what we're studying. And so I went on to study a BTEC in performing arts at Luton Sixth Form College, where we did various plays. The first play I was ever in, actually, was probably when I was about 9, and we did Alice in Wonderland, and I was the Mad Hatter in it. And then I was in West Side Story at school. Various things at college. I got the lead dance part in one show, The Boyfriend. I couldn't really dance very well. And they basically told me, just smile and pretend and we'll make it a thing that you're not a very good dancer. And then so on to university, I did various things there as well. I was also part of our local youth opera, where we did lots and lots of productions. When I was about kind of 18. So I'd done quite a lot of acting, and I thought then off the back of university that would be what I'd go into doing. I did a few auditions, firstly the Father Christmas one, and it just really put me off. The whole idea of having to audition for work was something that I found really difficult and quite soul-destroying. And so I went to a couple of auditions after that and then just chucked it in and started working at a call centre. But yeah. I had what I like to refer to as my Uncle Monty moment. If you've not seen Whittle and I, Uncle Monty, and that describes the moment in any actor's life where he realises he will never play the Dane, where he'll never get the role of Hamlet. Is one of the worst moments. I had that moment dressed as Father Christmas on the back of a sleigh in Milton Keynes, with 2 ski instructors dressed as a reindeer going down a ski slope. That was when I realised probably acting wasn't for me. So yeah, thanks for that question. It's a really good question there. Pierce554 says, what is your favourite remedy for an overworked throat? So generally, I try rest it a lot. There's some quite good throat sweets out there as well. Whiskey and ginger if needed. That tends to work quite well. But trying not to eat chocolate, trying not to drink beer, which is quite difficult at shows. when you start losing your voice, because everyone wants to buy you a drink and that kind of thing. But yeah, I just try and keep quiet for a little while, and try not to use my voice, and give it a bit of a rest. So that really is the best remedy, I think. So that's it for the questions from this week. Make sure you are asking questions in the comments, because obviously it gives me more to talk about in these videos. Just a little heads up on the shows that I've got coming up. Next Friday, or on Friday the 13th, I'll be in Biggleswade at the Big Theatre with my band, the Fancy Chaps. And then on Saturday, the 21st of September, I will be in Trowbridge at the Village Pump. Both of those shows are selling quite well. I'm hoping we're going to get some sellouts there. So if you are thinking about coming along to either of those, make sure you get in there quickly to avoid disappointment. And then on the 5th of October, Saturday the 5th of October, I'll be at the Cumberland Arms in Newcastle with the band The Fancy Chaps. And also Mr. Chris Taverner will be joining us for that one. Then on the 19th of October, Saturday the 19th of October, on that afternoon, I'll be at the Birdwell venue in Barnsley for the Big Day Out, which is a day-long kind of festival event in Barnsley, run by the excellent Mr. Scott Dunican, who will be managing the whole thing. Various excellent bands playing there. So if you're interested in coming along to that, it'd be lovely to see you there. As I say, if you're interested in getting hold of one of these Flight ukuleles, there's a link in the description below the video. If you want to come and join me on Patreon for various exclusive materials, then you can follow the link in the description as well. There's a link to the shows too there. It'd be lovely to see you out and about. But that's about it from me for this week. Until next time, stay safe and toodle pip.